Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the rear coil spring on a Vauxhall Corsa D. Nice easy one guys, so I thought I'd run you through it. Let's take a little look.
And if you get value from this video, hit the like button and subscribe to support this channel.
Right then guys, so first of all, sorry about my voice. I'm losing my voice. I'm coming down with something. I feel fine, but yeah, I'm just losing my voice. I'll try and be as clear as I can, and I'll put everything down in the description to kind of explain what we've done and what we're doing and what you need to do this job. It is so simple to do this spring. My wife went and broke one a couple of weeks ago, and I had to change it quickly one night so she could go to work the next day. I didn't get a chance to do a video, so I've now bought the other spring and I've done the opposite side. They're both the same age, so I guess one could kind of go not long away, so I thought best just do the two. So I did this video to show you guys how simple this spring is to change. It is so easy. Obviously it's only the rear spring that's easy. The front spring, you've got to take the strut apart. If you look down, I'll link down in my description as well. I've done a video on the front spring as well, so go and take a look down there if you want to see how that's done. But this is the rear spring. This is so easy. You just need some jacks, some stands, and like I say, basic tools to do this. So yeah, thought I'd run you through it. So yeah, let's take a little look.
Right then, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jack up the back end of the vehicle and we're going to put it on axle stands. Now obviously if you're working under any sort of vehicle, you need to make sure it's supported. So what I'm basically doing here is jacking it up on the chassis rail, and then I'm going to put this axle stand under the joint on the sill. That is the actual jacking point on the sill. I'm just going to look. Now if you feel the sill, you'll feel it's actually a thin part, and then there's a wider section which is actually the jacking point. So I'm going to put that axle stand by there and drop the jack onto it. Once we've done this side, now you can see I got the wheel about 2 inches off the floor, so make sure you've got at least 2 inches. We're going to need that much room for the axle to drop to get the spring out, so just keep that in mind. So the next thing I do now is jack up the other side. So obviously I'm only doing one spring on this car, but I'm going to jack up both sides because basically I want the axle to hang down. So yeah, I'm going to make sure I get both sides off the floor. I'm going to put this axle stand again under the sill. Obviously on this side now I'm going to leave the jack under it. I'm going to lower it onto the axle stand. I just need to go a little bit more there to get up another click to give me that clearance that I wanted. And then I'm going to go ahead and position my axle stand. Now I am going to leave the jack under, so you could leave it on jack obviously by ear, but just to make sure it's safe, it's best if you put all the weight onto the axle stand. So here we are. So I'm doing the left hand spring. So here it is sat in this cup by here. Now there's a cup at the top and a cup at the bottom. As you can, there's kind of like a rubber cup that it sits in. Now we need to remove this shock and obviously pull down the suspension to get the spring out. So first thing we're going to do is remove the lower shock bolt. It's an E18 torque socket, so just remember that it's E18 to get that bolt out. I use this Halford set and it's pretty brilliant. It comes with all these sizes. So once we get that bolt out, then now I do need to lift the axle. Just take the weight of the wheel and axle. Obviously the handbrake is on, so the wheel's not turning. I'm just going to put a pry bar under the axle, just lift it slightly so I can pull that bolt, and then you'll see when I take it out the axle drops. Now that's what you want. Obviously the spring is pushing it down. So you can see there now we got quite a bit of movement with that shock disconnected. So I'm literally just going to pull down on the spring. Obviously if your spring is snapped, it will come out a lot easier. This is a full spring, so you can see that cup which we're going to have to swap over, and it just sits on this kind of nub up here at the top. It kind of locates onto there, and that's it. Pretty simple. That's it, removed. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. Obviously we need to swap this over to the new spring. So I'll just show you the spring. So this is the spring. Obviously I've gone for a KYB, which is a OE quality spring. It's probably what is more of a better make a spring. I would strongly advise using a better make than a cheap. Obviously I'm doing a pair, so I know obviously they're both going to be the same height and not going to have any wear on either of them. That's why I'm doing the pair. So And there we go. So obviously you can see now that this spring has a wider opening at the top, at the bottom to the top. You can see this kind of small cap here this rubber boot goes in and locates into the top of that spring. Now there is a stop on it, so you can see there that goes up against the end of the spring, and then we can tuck this in. Now you can see that this spring obviously is smaller at the top for that rubber to go into. You can see there. Now if I show you the bottom, you'll see the bottom cup is a lot larger. I think I take it off now so you can have a look at it. You don't need to take this off, you just need to make sure you locate the spring obviously into that boot properly. So you can see there now, if I just put that in and spin it, and then it locates into the bottom. You don't have to get it all the way home, it will work itself home if you don't quite get it there, so don't worry too much. But yeah, as you can see there now, I've gone and put it on. So like I said, you don't need to, so you just locate it on the bottom, and then again we're going to need to pull down that axle and then locate the top. Make sure that rubber is sitting nice and even all around, and then we'll go ahead and just pop that top back into place. You can see you're just basically pulling the wheel and axle down to locate it, and then just give that a good twist to make sure it's all locked in place.
Right,
and there it is. And believe it or not, that is the spring replaced. It is that easy. You can see there now it's located, so literally all we got to do now is lift the axle back up. You can see it's all pretty good. Now obviously I used a pry bar here to get this axle back up in line. Just lift the wheel up, bar the wheel up. You could use a trolley jack or something, but I had a bar in my hand, so I just hooked it on my leg and kind of lifted it. And then go ahead and refit this bolt. Now this bolt could have done with a bit of copper slip, but I didn't have time to mess about with it. It was pretty easy to get out, so I just went ahead and put it back in. But if you want to future proof it, maybe put a bit of copper slip on there just to make sure it's all nice and loose in case you ever want to take it out again. And there we go. So we've got that in now. Like you say, just tighten it up nice and tight. Obviously you'll get a good feel for how tight it is when you take it out. So I've just got a long extended 3/8 bar here, which I'm just giving it a good torque or tighten up with. And that's, believe it or not, that is it. That is all connected, that's all back together, and we can go ahead now and lower the vehicle. So again, I'll just jack it up. Like I said, guys, obviously I've replaced both springs on this car. You don't need to replace both springs. You can go ahead and just replace one if one is broken, but in my opinion, if one is broken, the other one probably isn't far behind. So I like to go ahead and just change the two. And yeah, it's always good to take a note when you get it back on the floor. Just kind of have a look at both sides just to make sure that one side isn't got a bigger or smaller gap than the other. And yeah, that's it all done. So yeah, I hope that helped, guys, and yeah, I look forward to doing future videos.
And if you get value from this video, hit the like button and subscribe to support this channel.